What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. I am sorry that it's been so long, but we are back to do one of our favorite pastimes, which is roast EA. So I haven't been as into the YouTube videos recently. I've been busy on the weekends, which is usually when I sit down to do this stuff. But this weekend I kind of wanted to discuss the latest notes, I guess, that EA put out in terms of the playstyles. So as some of you may know, there's plenty of videos that I'm sure that are going around right now in terms of rants about EA. It's becoming a consistent pattern, which started to become apparent in FC25. We're now starting to see more in FC26. But what EA did was they basically put out pitch notes to say, we have heard your feedback about attributes, right, and play styles, and we're going to make some adjustments. The incredibly annoying thing about this is that EA were the ones themselves at the beginning of FC26 that said they were going to focus on attributes and not play styles. That was their whole thing, right? They wanted the play styles to feel like an addition to a player's attributes. And what they then decided to do was basically say, we are going to nerf two of the most important play styles that we have and that we have built our game around. Sup, cat? My cat's decided to join. Come on. Okay, there's probably a weird cut. I basically had to kick my cat out because she's going to scream, and I'm doing you a favor, I guess, in that sense, but she says hello. Anyway, so they are going to nerf Incisive and Tiki-Taka, which are incredibly important playstyles in the way EA have now coded the game. And they have now said we're going to make those adjustments to those two playstyles. Firstly, the really annoying part is that without those two playstyles, your players cannot do basic, simple passes. And I know they've said Incisive Plus and Tiki-Taka Plus, right? But even still, you rely heavily on those players for passing and through balls, etc. Now, they may change that for the through balls to the wingers, right? So when people just do a through ball to their Nico Williams or their Claudia Pina or their Shellen or whoever it may be, right, to get them in, and for some reason your fullbacks just cannot track those runs, that's one thing. So, right, so only time will tell if that's the case. But they have mentioned nothing about Bruiser, nothing about defensive play styles that need to be nerfed, right? And this was the very first video that, if you go back to the very first video that I did, I said that it was trending closer to FC25 now than FC26. And unfortunately, that still remains true, right? It's just become this insane level of testing the game during the year. Now, there's plenty of videos for people to go watch about their opinions, like NEP and AA9 Skills, I think Inception, RTFM, all the big players, right, have kind of now come out and basically said this is a horrible decision from EA. And really, if they wanted to do something that was useful, they would say, okay, we are going to nerf the Bruiser Plus, which is becoming ridiculous, right? Every single team that I go into in Champs, the backline just absolutely swarms my attackers and they cannot do anything. And then you just Bruiser Plus them out the way, you shove them off the ball, no foul given, right? Turnover, counter, goal. And it's just the same way every single time. Or people run down the line and they cut it across. It's just becoming such a chore to play this game. It's no longer enjoyable. Right? It just becomes really hard. There are some game modes which are fun, but for the most part, it just becomes a chore because people play the same way. And it ends up just hurting your eyes, man. You see the same thing constantly. There's no difference. Every so often you come across people who maybe are building like a passion Evo squad based on a nation, based on a club, whatever it may be. But for the most part, right, you basically have Van der Ven in the back, Pina somewhere, some Evo Hullet, right, for all the, that's the rattiest teams now that have those. It's just a sad state of affairs that the game is in, right? And EA are going to do the same thing now, where they basically say, okay, we've heard your feedback, right, and for FC27, we've listened. But the thing is, EA, like, you said you were going to do this. You said you were going to focus on attributes. And then everyone built their teams and Evos and everything because they realized these playstyles are absolutely necessary. Without some key playstyles in key positions, right, your players can't do anything. Your defenders don't have intercept or jockey or obviously anticipate, right? Dead. And then Bruiser, I don't know what it is they did, but it felt like they turned Bruiser from like 20 to 120. They just turned that dial all the way up. And I don't even know if they realize what they've done. I even think the finesse shots are still broken. They do not work exactly the same way than before they broke it. If that makes sense, right? Before they broke it, my players were just hitting finesses every single time. Then they broke it, and your players would do like one finesse out of every 5 that was good. The other ones would float in the air like a balloon, right? And the goalkeeper would catch it. But now it feels like it's like out of 5 shots, 3 or 4 of them would work, but 1 or 2 still do the floaty thing. I don't understand. And EA Sports, I should say, are such a big company, you would think they would have an army of people to test this game. What they have very smartly figured out is we are those people, right? We are the people that tested this game on EA's behalf to basically say, this is this, this is that, right? And here's our feedback. And the feedback just gives them what they want. The feedback just basically reiterates to them, okay, well, now we've heard your feedback. And they can say that now because they can say, we've added it in the Discord, you guys have given your feedback, and we've listened. It's just incredibly manipulative of EA to say, we've heard your feedback on playstyles and attributes. And they were the ones who put it out in the beginning. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. So it's sad. It is such a sad state that the game is in March, basically, right? It's February 22nd when I'm recording this. In 6 days' time, it will be March, right? It's just like, it's hard to take EA seriously. That's really, I think, the thing. It's really hard to take EA Sports seriously when it comes to this game. Because they have just made bad decision bad decision after bad decision after bad decision until we are now in the spot that we are in. And the spot that we are in is just a shambles of a game, right? It's just all over the place. There's no continuity in how the game plays between game modes, the connection, the play styles, right? I pass the ball to my attackers, they can barely take a touch, and then someone's on me. And then I'm shoved off the ball, and then off you go, mate. And then they go score, right? So it is tough to see, right? It's hard to basically sit down. And like I said, now playing this game is a chore, right? Like the icon swaps thing. You can tell the levels of the players that now play this game. And what I mean by that is, I think for the first round of icon swaps, people were actually excited to get back on. They were like, oh my God, icon swaps are back. EA have cooked. Let me get on. And I think a lot more of the casuals came back on the game to play that round. Because when you did the one league friendlies, right, you would go in, people would help you do your objective. This second round, it feels like every single person that I play is basically out to stop you from getting a token. And what I mean by that is EA, for some diabolical reason, put the chip shot and the crossing in the same category. So for Spain, you have to cross the ball and then you have to chip shot the keeper. When I tell you the chip shot for the Bundesliga in the previous set of icon swaps almost gave me like an aneurysm, I'm not exaggerating. That shit was so unbelievably annoying. Because not only did you have to chip the keeper, you had to chip them like inside the box and it had to go over the keeper. So even if someone brought their goalkeeper out and you chipped them, it just wouldn't count. I was on 2 chip shots After I'd done it 4 times or 5 times, I was still on 2. And this time around with icon swaps, when I go in, basically, like, if I am nice enough to say, you know what, go score your goal with what you need, it is not reciprocated in any way, shape, or form in the same way that it was previously. Before, people would actually help you out. Now you have rats who they see the Spain team, they're like, okay, I'm not moving my keeper. I'm making sure he does not get a cross in. And it's just like, that ratty type of player that still plays this game is the only thing on here that's left now. Because I think the casuals realized with the previous maybe icon swaps, there's maybe less on this time around. They probably thought, I don't care enough to get back on and do this. This is such a grind. The squad battles one's easy, fine. Champs, 10 wins, right? Like, it's doable. But at the end of the day, those league ones, it just goes to show that I think most people still playing this game are... I don't want to call everyone like a rat or just like whatever, but it's not a community that used to help each other out. It's basically like, I'm going to focus on what I need to do, right? And just be as toxic as possible and make sure you don't get your goal. If I'm through one-on-one with against a player, right, and I need a chip shot, they keep their goalkeeper on the line the entire time, knowing I need a chip shot, right? But just out of spite, they're like, I'm staying on the goal line. And that's some BS to me, man. Like, that is some pure BS. And that is unfortunately because EA have now really, really leaned into the defensive side of this game. The amount of people that you play in champs, which I'm sure you guys know if you're probably watching this video, that just control their midfielder, let their center backs do their thing, right? And just, it's the same boring stuff constantly, man. Over and over again. There is no sense of like a fun way to play. And so, yeah, it just it's tough, man. I saw that on, I think it was Thursday or Friday, and I was away this weekend, but I came back and I just thought, you know what? I just need to get my thoughts out for anyone who cares. Like I said, there's plenty of rant videos about EA this year, which is sad to see because in the beginning, there was a lot of videos that said EA have actually done something well. Right? There was a lot of videos that said EA cooked this year. They've done something. People were enjoying it. And then now it was just like, they just ruined the whole trajectory with what they did and what they are constantly doing, right? So I'm not holding out for any kind of significant change. Hopefully I'm wrong, right? With them nerfing these playstyles. My gut instinct is that it is going to basically make defensive AI even worse, because Incisive and Tiki Taka Plus are now going to be nerfed, which are two of the only useful playstyles you had to get around somebody's defense. Plain and simple. Now, if you're just pinging the ball out wide to your wingers and you're sending them on a manual run, I can't help you, right? That is an egregious abuse of a game mechanic, right? That's a different story altogether. I'm talking about ones that actually can try and play football and not byline bandits that just run down the line, push, pass the ball into the box and then score. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what this patch does. And I think the other thing that I want to mention is like EA have done relatively well with the promos that they've done this year. I think there's enough engagement. Bar Team of the Year, which I think was a colossal shit show, right? In terms of just the SBCs, no repeatable grind, nothing, right? They just absolutely took all of the fun out of Team of the Year. Fantasy FC is off to a decent start, but every single promo EA release, a good concept initially, right? Day one of the promo is usually okay. Day two is, or day one of the promo is good. Day two is all right. And then by day three, the promo has just fallen off a cliff. And it happens every single time. Every single promo. EA start Friday off with a bang. Saturday, there's like a fizzle. And by Sunday, it's like, what the hell is this? And then you have to drag your ass through the next week of the promo. It's very weird. It's just a very, very weird thing that's happening with EA, and I don't know what's going on. gameplay aside, even the content has just been, I would think, supremely mid in general. Like, if we're being completely honest, right? There's very few days of content that are actually good. Evos, I mean, there's rewards now where you can get a second playstyle plus on Evos, but it's only max 87 rated. So then it becomes a huge problem later on down the line when basically you can start to Evo 87 or 88 rated plays, but they have two playstyle pluses. And EA, knowing EA Sports, are going to gatekeep any Evos because they're going to say max playstyle 1. So you cannot do anything with those Evos anyway, right? Those players just have to sit in your club until Lord knows when, probably footies, right? And then you can Evo them. It just is like a level of incompetence that we are all used to, but it's still kind of surprising, right? Like, us as casual people who play this game, and us as people who play this game quite a lot, can see all this stuff. But for some reason, EA either know it and just say, we don't care, right? Or they are completely naive, which I don't think is the case, right? So, yeah, it just is weird, man. It's very, very weird. And I can't really understand it at all, to be honest. But like I said, for me, it was mainly just about talking about that new patch that I saw with Incisive and Tiki. They're going to boost Power Shot Plus, right? And Chip Shot, which I think needs to happen, right? But there are two things that worry me significantly. One, the defensive AI, how that's going to be altered now or seem way even more overpowered because they are going to turn down Incisive and Tiki, right? And then the other thing, which is kind of crazy to say, is what is going to break when they make those changes? Because you and I both know that we are probably going to be the ones sat here testing their game and saying, okay, well, now, finesses are broken again, right? Or chip shots are ridiculously overpowered. Or game changer now becomes a whole thing. Like, there's something in the game that is probably going to break because, again, there's a level of incompetence to EA that is lights out from anything I've experienced from a gaming company before. It genuinely is. Like, there's single player games that I play that I sit down and I play the game through and through. I'm like, this is a great game. No changes, right? I have no criticisms, nothing. But with EA, it's just like, it's the same. It's not even the same stuff anymore. Like, the bad gameplay is one thing. I'm talking about basic stuff like fixing the loading screen, being able to positionally add in a player from the SBCs, right? Like, let alone that stuff is broken. But guess what? We have a new tab so you can see all of the new players. It's like, give me a break. Like, fine, whatever. Like, yes, that's a fine addition, but can you fix the other stuff? Where if I select a striker position in my squad, that it takes me to just strikers, but I have to manually do this now. Anyway, that is a whole different tunnel that we're going to go down, right? We can just pull up a huge list of stuff that is just going to be the same thing over and over and over again. But the main thing I wanted to bring up is that Playstyle Plus thing. I think it's a joke. I think it is an absolute spit in the face of people that basically bought this game for you to turn around EA Sports and say, we listen to your feedback about attributes and playstyles. There is evidence, like there is actual evidence of you saying that you are going to prioritize attributes over playstyles. And we have to sit here then and pretend that you've listened to our feedback. It's like, come on. Like, how stupid do you think people are? Really? Like, I've like I said, I've never known kind of a level of manipulation like it. It's just so embarrassing for this company to be like, we heard your feedback. Give me a break. There's no way that you can turn around and really believe putting that out there that it was our feedback. It came from your mouth. It came from your people in July or August, whenever it was, that said, we are going to focus on this. So anyway, I played a game of football. I came back. Now I just sat down. I played a couple games of champs, raged a little bit, so nothing new. And I just sat there and I thought, you know what? Just gonna make a video about this because it's just, why not, man? I haven't uploaded to YouTube in a minute. I wanted to get my thoughts out there, but you guys let me know, right? You come across this video, like I said, there's plenty of rant videos now that are going out, which is bad to see and it's sad to see, but it's the position of the game that we're in. So, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. How are you feeling about the game? Have you stopped playing altogether? I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people that have stopped playing altogether, which doesn't surprise me at all. But this is where we are. So, all right, guys. Well, that's it. Kind of a short video, but wanted to get my thoughts out there, like I said. And I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. If you were obviously caught up in any of the snowstorms and the blizzards, etc., be safe. And it's just a game at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it's a game, but it's sad when, a company just ruins a game that we love. And this is the position that we're in. And I think most people kind of feel this way now. So anyway, much love, guys. Hope you, like I said, hope you're well, stay safe, and we'll be back soon. Peace.